Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spark Talk. And today we're joined with Milan Lani, a Spark 360 associate that has a wealth of experience when it comes to logistics and supply chain. Milan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Milan Lani. I'm married. We have two daughters. I'm actually in the business for 25 years. I started as a logistics engineer and I was going through project management and also operational roles in my past. And I was also globally responsible for logistics operation in Asia, Europe, and US. And recently, I joined a team of really hands-on experts from Spark 360 to support customers with sustainability and supply chain optimization.
And Milan, the reason I want to talk to you today is because I noticed you wrote an article that addressed a lot of the challenges that are facing manufacturers in Central and Eastern Europe. And there's been a lot of movement in the past few years around sustainability and manufacturing, but Central and Eastern Europe brings a unique set of challenges, as we were talking about earlier. Can you describe some of the things that these manufacturers are facing that maybe others might not be aware of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys need to know that I'm actually coming from the region. I'm originally from Slovakia. I'm living in Austria now with family, but I've been doing a lot of business and a lot of traveling, and a lot of my clients were in this region. So clearly I could see that the sustainability as a buzzword was there already for quite some years, but recently. There was a little bit of more pressure which was coming because something had to be done. So we can clearly see that there was initially a hesitancy to move forward in the countries regarding sustainability efforts because they were waiting whether the local country government will really approve these laws and regulations, and whether they need to take action. That's number one. Number two, they of course, had a little bit of limited knowledge regarding sustainability. Some larger manufacturers, when they had a parent company in Western Europe, they were moving with sustainability already ahead some years back. So let's say smaller manufacturers, they really had to do their homework and to pick up the pace because they didn't have that sustainability and the whole team developed. And last but not least, you could clearly see that in Central and Eastern Europe, there is a less developed infrastructure. Roads, highways, rails, and opportunities to do maybe some intermodal transportation are limited in comparison to some other regions in Europe.
Now, when you talk to people, what are the main concerns you're hearing from manufacturers about addressing their sustainability obligations?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I wrote in this article, there are new European regulations. For example, the compliance with CSRD requirements that are applicable for some of them. They did not have enough information what they need to do and how to really grasp this and how to start. At the same time, they were under the pressure because some of their customers are starting to asking difficult questions about sustainability and about how to provide the information back to them. I have one of my clients who was delivering to Volvo, who started suddenly asking all these difficult questions, and they were really struggling where from to get this information and how to, let's say, pass this information to Volvo. And at the same time, they were under quite some pressure of losing potential customers if they do not supply this information and reporting back to them. And thirdly, they really see that they need to reduce their operational costs in order to remain competitive. So recently also the situation in Europe, but also in general, is not that great regarding automotive industry or industrial companies. So they really start to feel that they need to need to do something about their costs.
Now, you're talking about the need to both implement sustainability programs for client needs and regulatory compliance, and also a need to reduce costs to remain competitive. And as you and I both know from conversations we've had with clients, a lot of people think of sustainability as a cost, but that's not always the case. Can you give an example of how a sustainability program can also lower costs while providing that compliance and customer demand coverage that they're looking for?
Oh yeah, I mean, during the discussions with my clients, when you start really doing the deep dive with sustainability and start looking into different processes, etc., you will find quite some examples. So I'll start with having a local sourcing, where you explore what alternatives are you having that you can get materials locally from your neighboring countries or from neighboring towns versus to really start importing it from Western Europe or from some other parts of Europe. Then I have seen also an example where one of my clients who was producing apparel products, they were doing a lot of heat or creating a lot of heat, which have seen, which was as a byproduct of production and could be used, for example, for heating offices or a warehouse. And as I mentioned, during the sustainability discussions, you will have a chance to revisit your processes, which might be really, some of them, out of date. So when you are looking into this, you can improve efficiency and create really carbon footprint reduction. Yeah. So this is a unique opportunity that you can really look through what has been done before and how to make it differently. And last but not least, also you have a chance to look at how does your supply chain look like, so and how resilient it is. Some of my clients were importing the goods from Asia, and over the last years we have seen quite some challenges with supply from Asia because of disruptions, because of troubles with ocean freight supplies, etc.
Now, I want to go back to that point real quick. Thier de Jong, one of our colleagues, and I had a conversation on Supply Chain Now with Scott Luton, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I'll put that link in there because there was a very good, healthy conversation about that intersection of supply chain optimization with sustainability and resiliency, how they can be used and leveraged together to really come up with a trifecta approach. So I just wanted to point that out as well. What other concerns are you hearing?
Well, definitely there was a lack of internal resources, so when I visited some of my clients, they really didn't know like who would actually start doing this. They had maybe some teams of some people who were previously taking care of ecology or waste management, etc. These were ideal candidates who could actually become sustainability experts, but they would have to really go through quite a lot of training and making sure that they get up to speed and get the know-how in order to drive this sustainability efforts throughout the organization. And the second topic was really like, what kind of systems are we going to use for reporting instead of Excel, right? So this is how discussion was about, are there any system, is there something which they could go and get from the market which can support them with maybe having a head start when some of the parameters are already set or benchmarked through with the similar industries where they can benefit from, so they don't have to do everything themselves. So these would be, I would say, the additional ones.
Excellent. And what advice would you have for a manufacturer operating in Central and Eastern Europe if they're struggling with this problem and these challenges?
Oh, I would say that they need to think of sustainability and supply chain optimization as going hand in hand. Yeah. So not to be competitive or isolated. Clearly, you can see that by when you combine these two, you can see reduction on costs as well as in carbon emission. Yeah, and secondly, I would advise them to look at systems which they have in place and why do they have them in place. They should really start thinking about innovation, using lean as a way to, for example, to save money, measuring. While they would be measuring the carbon footprint, they can in parallel establish sustainability improvements, and this could really benefit the overall way how they can tackle both sustainability and supply chain optimization.
Excellent. Now, a couple of other things I want to come back to from what you were saying. A lot of, I think, the struggle with internal resources you were talking about before. There's also, no matter what resources you have, there's always changing deadlines or changing requirements. It seems as though every few months there's, the EU comes out and, okay, we're going to push this deadline back, or these people are going to we're going to have this regulation. There's a new alphabet soup kind of regulation that pops up. I want people to know that we do have a service. It's free. You can sign up at spark360.com/ESG-alerts. And we track a lot of those things for you, and you get them delivered to your inbox when those regulations change or new ones come up. That's just a resource to kind of help with that. It's not going to fix the problem of the lack of resources to implement things, but we can at least help you keep track of what you might need to do from a regulatory standpoint. Now, how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about how you can support them, particularly in Central and Eastern Europe? How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, so people can find me over there, and or they can email me at milan.lani@spark360.com, and I would be really happy to have a follow-up discussion with them and share some of the best practices and talk about how we can work together to get this through. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Milan, for your time today, and we'll see you all next time on Spark Talks.
Thank you as well.